Let's have a look at this rendering and updating process and where to place our pure components. Consider this React application. We have a root app component. And then we might have a shop and a users component. And shop and users might very well be containers, each managing the relevant state. These components probably also have child components. List and cart for the shop and users 1 to 3 in the users case. Now the updating, as you learned, happens from top to bottom and only when state or props change. So if the state in the shop component changes, list and cart will probably receive new props and also update. And this also gives us an idea about what might be pure components and where this doesn't make too much sense. If we have list and cart depend on props which are distributed by shop, then maybe it makes sense to implement should component update in the shop case and stop updating if the state didn't actually change, if we maybe called set state, but the properties in the state are still the same as before. And then list and cart won't be reached anyways. So there's no need in turning list and cart into pure components, because we have a good check one level above them in our shop container. And obviously the same would be true for users or any other part of your application. So having some containers where you have these checks might make a lot of sense. And still you might even find cases where your containers don't need that check because you know you only call set state or you only receive new props if they really changed. Then you can also leave out should component update or a pure component. But oftentimes it might make sense. So this is how the rendering and updating works, how this tree of components is updated and handled by React, and how you may optimize it. Let's now understand how React optimizes this updating process for us out of the box by not hitting the real DOM all the time. Because as you could see, there is a big difference between the render method being called and the real DOM being changed. Let's take a look at this in the next lecture.